Hello there,
Hi, friends.
and welcome to our channel. This next video that we're making right now follows a previous cruise that we had, which we kind of affectionately call our COVID cruise. The COVID cruise being the very first cruise we did after the cruising industry came back alive as people returned. But there were a lot of restrictions, limitations, and so our second cruise was on the Disney Magic for 4 nights. It was identical in many ways to our very first Disney cruise, minus Key West. Anyways, so one of the things that happened at the very end of that cruise is something that I regret. I've regretted it for a long time. I mentioned in the cruise in the last video, I think Laura and I talked about meeting a few people while we were on the ship because of the social distancing that was going on. There weren't near as many interactions with others that you would normally have on a cruise that's filled with lots of people to meet. But there was two ladies that we met along the way that we kind of crossed paths multiple times. And it was a mother-daughter. And somewhere in the course of our conversation late in that cruise, I made the comment, ignorant, horrible comment,
No.
that, oh, hon, like, you know what? I think you and your mom should do something like that. I think you two should go on a cruise so you guys can spend some time together, just like this mom and daughter are doing. And I think that'd be wonderful. And Lori said, "Do you think you'd be okay, like us going on a cruise without you?" Oh, sure, absolutely. I'll be so happy that you guys are enjoying time. Like, that's not a problem at all. I would love for you to do this. And so that was what I thought in February, or no, January was when we had that cruise. So that was January of 2022 on the cruise. Where I'm like, yeah, you can go. You'd have a wonderful time. I won't. That won't bother me one bit. And then it got to October,
Well,
and your cruise
we
was
had planned.
in.
So, like after our cruise with our COVID cruise, we, Mom and I were talking about maybe going the next February, so February of 23. And then Ryan was like, "No, I think we need to go in February of 23. So maybe you and your mom could go later this year." And so I presented to my mom, "Hey, what if we did a Christmas cruise? We went and go in November. We ended up going the week before Thanksgiving, and it's like, of course, my mom and I love Christmas, so we're like, why not?"
And
then
Disney calls them the Maritime Cruise. So they're
and
maritime.
and then Mama was like, "Well, is Santa gonna be on the ship too?" And I was like, "Yes." So then it's like, well, I don't know who's she more excited to see, Santa or Mickey? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
And
so
not just a cruise in general, but on a very special ship in that at that
well,
time.
when we were looking at the cruises and looking at prices, turns out we ended up booking on the Wish, Disney Wish, brand new ship. It had launched.
Was it June when it started?
June, I think. Yeah. So Mom and I were on the inaugural sailings of the Disney Wish, and it was a Christmas cruise, and it was to the Bahamas. So it's pretty much the same itinerary that we had just done.
Yeah, because it was
But
three nights instead of four.
So it was.
And it was out of the same port?
No,
that was Port Canaveral.
Yeah, so
I'll let you tell the story. You were the one there, not me.
So we went out of Port Canaveral, which was my first time going there. We had a stop in Nassau, which Mom is a chocoholic, just like me. So we went to the chocolate factory again. And then we had the day at Castaway, and then back home. And let me tell you, going from the Magic, the first ship, it's very small, can fit 2,000 people, to going to the Wish.
2,000 passengers.
Yeah. Going to the Wish, like, just, oh my gosh, like, that was so crazy. It is such a beautiful ship.
Especially since it was about as brand new as you could find
exactly.
it.
Smell of brand new carpet, all that. Yeah, it was great. So Mom and I flew down to Orlando, and we went down an extra day. So like we actually had an extra, because our flight didn't get in until 2 o'clock in the morning, and then we had a whole day in Orlando. And she called a friend of hers, I called a friend of mine, and they were on either coast of Florida, so they met us in the middle where we were in Orlando. So we had a day with friends before the next day, getting on the shuttle.
You also had your yarny friends.
That's what I'm talking about.
You're talking about your
Yes.
yarny friends. Gotcha.
Yes. So I met some yarny friends that I've met through YouTube. They live in Orlando. I got to meet them. Like the whole time I was just like, I'm breathing the same air as Kalisha and Hannah. Like, oh my gosh. But anyway, but then so we took, it's called GoPort. I'll link it down below. They have a special deal where they can get you a hotel and a shuttle to and from the port. Because Orlando and Port Canaveral are about 45 minutes away, so you kind of need a good shuttle to get you there.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course, walking mom through all the steps of getting ready for a cruise, checking in.
Yeah, because this was her third time doing all of this, and
Yes.
then this was obviously her mom's very first time going on a cruise.
So, and then I was very anxious through the whole thing because it's like, I want to make sure my mom has the best time. Like, I know I have a great time on cruises. I want her to have a great time as well. So I was constantly like, okay, checking in, making sure everything's okay for her. But yeah, we still had a wonderful time. Obviously my first time in Port Canaveral, Disney has their own terminal there. They have it decorated wonderfully. And then of course being Christmas, there was all this Christmas trees and everything in the port. But the main thing was going through the Mickey Head as you get on the gangway to get up to the ship. That was so fun to finally walk through the Mickey Head.
Yeah, that was something that we had seen when we looked at videos and all of that, watching other people with their cruises and their reviews, and so it was just it's nice being in a Disney themed port as opposed to just a general port that's or what do you call it, pier, or I don't know what you'd call the specific
terminal.
Yeah. So instead of just a general terminal that's just being used by multiple cruise companies.
So, but my mom and I, planning and stuff, obviously Ryan and I have Disney bounded before as Mickey and Minnie. So she said she wanted to be Daisy. Awesome. So she got her outfit. I had my Minnie outfit. I think we had to switch our ears because she has a red bow and I have the pink bow. So obviously we switched so we'd match our outfits for the day. And then we also bought tiaras for one of our nights. Like, let's wear a tiara to dinner. Why not? And be all fancy. So yeah, those were some of the things that we planned ahead of time. Before we left, just to make things extra special when you go.
Yeah, and I was putting on some guilt especially the last week, and I don't know what it was. Or for some reason I thought there was a way, like there was some sort of a special deal where like they had a thing where like the third or fourth passengers could cruise for free, and I thought, oh, can I get added onto the itinerary and just need to book a flight? I was trying to find a certain way to be able to try to get on because I was really wanting to go on that cruise, and but I survived.
There was no room in that
because you guys had an inside
stateroom. Yeah, we had a really small stateroom. Yeah. Not as small as this last one, but we still had a couch in. Excuse me.
Well, that couch would have been what turned into another bed.
No, it didn't.
Oh, that one didn't?
It was like a love seat. It was very small. So yeah, but just getting on the ship, finally, like my mom is finally with me here, and just walking around. I'm sorry I'm boring you.
No. It's been a long day at work is what that is.
I know. Me too. But like getting to walk around the ship, it was kind of chilly that day, so we were still in our jackets most of the time. But yeah, it was, oh, it's so beautiful on that ship.
It is, and this is something after we've been on four ships, and a lot of times when people say, "What's your favorite ship to cruise?" What's your favorite ship? And a lot of times what they mean by that isn't just a lot of times what impacts the answer to that question isn't just the ship. It's the length of the cruise. It is the itinerary and the destinations you go to. It's all those things really do fuel into people's perspective of which ship is their favorite. It's kind of a package deal. It's not just like the ship usually, but for us, for me, I think you agree. Like the Wish is your favorite ship. Just
Yes.
comparing the ships, and so for me, being on the Wish later on, which we'll do that one.
We'll
The
discuss
ship
that one.
is so when she's saying the ship is beautiful and just amazing, except for the elevator issue, which you had to deal with the elevator issue.
Yeah.
That they later on resolved, but really
But
outside of that,
even that, like, I didn't even think anything about
yeah.
that.
So they had some really touch sensitive buttons
Because it's
in
post COVID, so you didn't
Yeah.
want to be touching things.
Yeah.
So it was a very easily censored button system. And so, like, if you barely leaned up against it,
it was
all of them are like,
and so it was stopping every
we're gonna stop at every
along the
floor
way.
now.
Yeah, and so that and then the design of the ship's a little different too because
Very
for
different.
the original four ships of the Magic, Wonder, Dream, Fantasy, they've got midship elevators. They've got one in the set of elevators in the aft and in the forward, and so that's three sections of elevators. But for the Triton class, for the Wish, and the ones that have come out since, they've got two, so they're more they're spread out a little differently. There's not elevators there near the middle, and so they kind of split the difference with those two sets of elevators. And so I just always remember whenever we'd get out of the elevator, I felt like we had like a shorter walk, or it was such a long walk to get to the other end than I was used to having been on the Dream and Fantasy previously. So,
And the Magic.
but once you get used to it, I mean, it's yes, it is a beautiful, beautiful ship.
But then, so we get on, and of course, my favorite part of a Disney cruise is you walk on the ship and they say, "What's your family name?" "Oh, we're the Keels." Then there was like, "Disney Magic, please welcome aboard the Keel family." But for, to hear Lori and Joy, which is my mother's name, like, "Welcome aboard the Disney Wish." And it's like, oh my gosh. And then you walk in and they have this beautiful grand hall. It's not the atrium, it's called the grand hall. And there's a balcony, and up there is my favorite Disney princess, Rapunzel, and Eugene is there with her. And I was just like, oh, this is perfect. And he gave me the smolder, and I appreciated it. But then they had, the Christmas decorations were already up. We went to the tree lighting ceremony later that day. But first it was, going to Marceline Market, which was the buffet for lunch. We went there a couple times, but it was just a little too overwhelming for both of us, really, because there was a lot more people on the ship than I had been used to. But we did. They have a sweet shop that is dedicated, like, it's themed as Inside Out, which of course we had to go visit the Joy statue. I get a picture with my mom, Joy, and Joy. I was disgusted the whole time, but anyway. But like at dinners, we were sat with another mother and daughter. It's a theme, like, and we're actually still friends with those ladies on Facebook. Don't converse a whole lot, but we're still friends with them. Oh my goodness. So on the Wish, they have 3 totally different restaurants than what we're used to on the Magic. So you had 1923, which is dedicated to like the beginnings and the drawings of Disney.
There's
like
2 sides to that.
Yeah, there's 2 sides because on the Wish there are a lot of dead end hallways. You have to watch where you're going. But they have a Roy Disney side and a Walt Disney side. And one is more, there's different movies in each one, but they have like the caricatures. They have different things, memorabilia for the different movies, and they have more of a Hollywood themed menu. Um, it's very good. I really like that. I think that's my favorite food on the ship, um, for the main dining. Um, the other two restaurants are Worlds of Marvel, and they have a whole special show for Marvel with Ant-Man and the Wasp, and
Spider-Man shows up later. Spies up in
but he did not
person.
show up on the first
Oh,
one.
okay.
That's a new show that you saw.
Gotcha.
So the show that Mom and I saw, he has not seen. Actually, Ant-Man and the Wasp come out during that one.
Oh, they came out for yours?
Yes.
Oh.
And then they brought out, because the Pym particle quantum thing messed up, so they brought out like giant desserts. It was great, although they were fake. But.
Yeah.
And then the other restaurant is Arendelle, which is Frozen themed. Love the show and the Oaken going around woohoo woohoo the whole time. I will say though, when we were at that restaurant, there's a table nearby. They have these two little girls that were dressed like Anna, and when Kristoff walked by, they just oh, he's my dream come true, and here he is, and it was the sweetest thing to see. But yeah, like the food there is still good. I enjoyed the food. It's more Swedish. It's more Swedish themed food. Worlds of Marvel is Marvel themed because they have stuff from Wakanda and Sokovia and the different cities in Marvel. So they have all kinds of different food. That's where you get the bao buns. That's what started my love of bao buns, was Worlds of Marvel. And then there's also the deck dining,
which
which when we saw the video where they described the barbecue, that's when he was like, "Oh, I want to go."
Yeah, having deck dining where there's lots of barbecue just readily available whenever you want it. That's barbecue is my love language. It's one of my many love languages. I just love it.
Yes.
So yeah, that was part of the thing when they started having videos coming out, because when you booked it, when
we booked it in February.
You booked it in February,
and it hadn't even finished.
So
it
wasn't even finished completely. People hadn't done the official cruising until June. And so those videos start coming out, and that's when I'm watching those videos, and I'm thinking, oh, what have I done? What have I done? I have opted out of a cruise for them to go and enjoy it, and here I am going to be stuck here. So.
But yeah, so the shows, I'm trying to think what shows we had. There's the Seize the Adventure, which is like Minnie, Minnie trying to get Goofy to maybe become a captain of the ship someday. And there's all kinds of characters that come up. Tiana, Merida, Moana, they're just all
to inspire him, and
yes, they are. It's a great variety show. And then
Aladdin.
Yeah, we saw Aladdin. We had Aladdin on that one, and then I think we also had Little Mermaid too.
Oh yeah. So those are two that we had when we were on it recently. So
but the genie on Aladdin is the best. So I highly recommend if you go on a cruise and you have Aladdin, go see that one. That one's the best.
Yeah, the genie has some good, how would you call it?
One-liners.
One-liner humors that's like timely, like connecting to celebrity or things going on, like very current stuff, and so it connects with the audience. Like most people get like the jokes and where they're coming from, and it's pretty funny. Yeah. So it changes, from the different times, because the jokes that are in there for the first time we saw that versus another time we went and saw Aladdin, they personalize it. They keep it as up to date and as fresh as possible.
And they were still working out the kinks of the show of the theater as well.
Mhm.
So like when they do A Whole New World and they're on the magic carpet,
Lots of
the
smoke.
smoke machine went crazy.
Mhm.
The smoke machine went crazy, and it's like we could not see Aladdin and Jasmine.
Yeah.
Like we were just enveloped in the smoke. And so then when the song is over, Genie comes out and he's like, Marco, and then the whole audience went, Polo. That was pretty funny. But other entertainment that we had the Christmas tree lighting ceremony, which was so much fun. Like countdown, here goes the lights, and they didn't work. And then they're like, Tinkerbell, we need your help. And so then like they had some special lights that were able to work, and it made it look like Tinkerbell was trying to get it going. They never really came on for the ceremony. Later they were on, but it was still fun to, Mickey and Minnie are there, Santa and Mrs. Claus are there, getting things ready for Christmas. And then on the day of the Bahamas, so like Mom and I went on our excursion, we came back to the ship, and there was a story time with Mrs. Claus. And when I say like favorite memory of this cruise is story time with Mrs. Claus, mostly because afterwards, after she read the story, she's like, I have a surprise, and 8 characters came out, and we had a dance party with the characters. So seeing my mom dance with the characters like Mickey and Minnie and Daisy, of course, was just, that was so special for me. And of course, we decided we would dress in matching Christmas pajamas. In the Bahamas, it's so hot. It was pretty hot and sweaty, dancing in our flannel pajamas.
So it was cool the first night when you left, but it was...
Yes, but like once we got to the Bahamas, like the weather was just perfect. And then of course, we had Castaway Cay. We had beautiful weather, which then I was like, oh, I feel bad because our last experience at Castaway Cay was not so fabulous.
Yep.
But Mom and I got
and I remember that was on a Sunday. I remember your Castaway on the beach day was on a Sunday. I was stuck at church and
in the cold.
And and I said something like, usually Sunday mornings I get to church, we have a time of prayer for praying for different things, and it's our prayer. Say, hey, let's just want to pray that the weather is beautiful there in the Bahamas, because like she's mentioned, our very first cruise, the weather was beautiful when we were down there. Had a beautiful time at Castaway. Our second time, it was windy and not and too cold and just not a pleasant experience.
We couldn't get in the water.
So it's like, hey, and so so you got beautiful weather for your Castaway Cay day.
Yes. Yep. And so Mom and I were at Serenity Bay. We got in the water quite a bit. And at one point, she was on the beach, and I was like, I just want to go out in the water just one more time. Enjoy this while I can. And as I'm walking out, all of a sudden I see this fish swim by, and it's probably 2 feet long. Like it was wide and skinny, and I was like, that looks like a barracuda. I was like, I'm just gonna let you swim on by. I'm not gonna bother you. And then later when I came back, I was like, are barracudas down in the Bahamas? And yes, they are. So yes, and people have seen barracudas at Castaway Cay. So that's what I saw. And okay, you just swim on by. I will let you go. But with Mom and I, like, there's so much to do on a cruise anyway. And then you add in this new ship with new things to do. We didn't get to everything. I do remember she requested that we get some Dole Whip. And so when we got back on the ship after Castaway Cay, we got some Dole Whip and just hung out.
Well, and for our first 2 cruises, they were both 4 nights on the Magic. And even after 8 nights on the Magic, we still didn't do everything you could do.
No.
There was still some stuff, because I can't remember if it was for that second cruise or our third cruise, where we started to make a list of here's our checklist, because it's easy in the moment while you're on a cruise to forget that there's things you wanted to do. And so we started making a little checklist of, we want to order room service. We want to try the the cake of the day. We need to do the water slide thing. We need to do, there's just certain things that get missed. And so we just have made a practice of making a list of a few musts, like things that we need to do. And so, yeah, so that helps us. So, yep.
So I've been going through, I have our photo book here to remind me, like, oh yeah, I totally forgot about the Princess Gathering. So on Disney ships, they have an event called the Royal Gathering. It's free, but you do have to register for it. So it is a ticketed event, but it's free. And that goes quick. So when you register, like when it pops up, you need to register quickly for those.
And was that a 30 days out thing?
Yes.
So depending on your status, whether you're a first time cruiser or you're silver status or gold or whatever, those affect the dates when you do, whether it's 90 days out or however far out it is, or 100 days out for getting signed in and getting a bunch of things done. And that's when you can start booking your excursions. And then there's other events like Princess Gathering, which at that 30 days out, that's when it opens up and you're able to get on there. And you really want to make sure you get in there. We're the kind of people, we're in the Central Standard Time. So we'll stay up till 11 o'clock. And hey, it's 11 o'clock and it's 12 o'clock Florida time. And we sign on right at that 11 o'clock time to book those things, because like she said, they fill up pretty quickly. And we have a general idea of what our itinerary is going to look like and what things we're wanting to do on different days. And so when we sign in to book our dining, or to book things like the Princess Gathering, or to book meet and greets with characters like we did on some of our particular cruises, like the Marvel or the Pixar cruises, we go in with a plan. And sometimes she's on the laptop booking one thing and I'm on the app booking something else. So I'm so I'm taking care of the meet and greets, she's taking care of the booking for the Palo or the Remy dinings, so we go in and we get in right at 11 o'clock, because we want to have as many options as possible to look at. And like I said, we have a general layout in front of us on what days we're wanting to do certain things. And so once we get on there, we start looking at it, and that way we get something that fits with the schedule we want to have. And if you were to wait too long, your options are going to be limited. You may have something where you've got a conflict between a Princess Gathering and the excursion you're wanting to do, or the Princess Gathering and the Palo or Remy brunch you're wanting to do. And so the longer you wait, the harder it's going to be to get one in general, or to get one for your schedule in particular. So get on there as soon as possible if you can.
Yeah. Sure. So the Princess Gathering, there are 5 princesses that come, and you get one-on-one time with them. And it's not really rushed, but I mean, it's like, hey, like we gotta get several people through.
It'll be about maybe a minute. Yeah. Maybe a minute of interaction and pictures and lots of pictures
and lots of chatting with them too about. And I mean, these girls, they stay in character really well, and it's always fun to just chat with them.
Give them a good question to see what kind of answer they come up with.
Exactly. So we got to meet Cinderella, Moana, Belle, Rapunzel, and Tiana were our 5 princesses. And several of them had on special Christmas outfits for because it was a Christmas cruise. So that was fun to see. And of course, Mickey and Minnie and their Christmas stuff and all of that. That's always fun to see the characters in their different costumes. And then of course we still had Pirate Night. And the Wish.
I don't mean to interrupt, but I was just remembering the day you guys got on the ship. Do you remember calling me when you were?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, you called. You guys got aboard.
We're on the ship now, and he's like,
yeah, you guys were already had your food and you were eating or something, and I was stuck at work.
Yep, he was.
Remember that? That was mean. It just
I just wanted you to know.
I just remembered that. Oh yeah, I remember getting a phone call right then. I'm stuck at work and you're stuck on a Disney cruise ship.
Anyway, but yeah, so because it's a new ship, they had a new pirate show, and they even had a new sail away show, and so that was fun to watch as well. Yeah. I enjoyed those a lot. And then of course there was a meet and greet with Santa. We got to tell him what we wanted for Christmas, and yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to say about our cruise. Looking through. Yeah, that's about it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful day at Castaway.
Yeah, I mean, it's only a 3-day cruise. And so one of the things too is, and so I mentioned earlier that a lot of times the itinerary or the length of the cruise impacts people's perceptions. And I think one of the reasons why people will often say that other Disney ships are their favorite and not the Wish probably has a lot to do with it's a 3 or 4 night cruise.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do the 3 night, there's a lot of stuff you miss out on.
Yeah.
And if you're the kind of person that feels rushed trying to do the fear of missing out thing and trying to get to everything, you're going to be disappointed. You're going to feel pressure. You're going to feel like you missed all those things, and you're going to be disappointed. Well, like our mentality has never been, there's never a situation where you can enjoy everything there is to enjoy on any cruise ship, on almost any itinerary.
Yeah.
And so the idea is, you know what, you can go on that ship again at another time and enjoy the things you missed out on the first time.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing so horrible about not getting to everything.
Yeah.
And having a pace where you feel like you have to. For me, some people maybe that's their thing, but I like a slower pace than that. And so there's lots of cruise ships that we'll probably be going back on at another time, and those things we missed the first time we can get the second time, and those things we did wrong the first time we can fix that and have a better situation after that. So with the 3 nights, there's just a lot to try to get in there.
Like in being a brand new ship, everybody was trying to get everything. So yeah, it was pretty chaotic sometimes on the ship.
And if you get where you've been on the other ships and you have a certain expectation for how to navigate around a ship and what to expect for the way the events are and where the events are, you get into a routine. And so going on to a new ship that has a different layout, well, it's going to have a level of frustration just simply because you're not used to it. But if you're on there multiple times, you figure it out. The thing that I look forward to is when I was going to be on the Wish was for having different food, because we had been on four Disney cruises and there were some similarities in general similarities between the cruises. So when she mentioned these different restaurants, I'm like, oh, I remember how fun it was to go to a new restaurant with a new theming, with a new menu selections to choose from. And so when she came back talking about what a great time she was, I couldn't wait for my chance to be on the Wish later.
And I will say, going from the Magic to the Wish, navigating that, it was huge. I just remember the last day we were eating breakfast in Arendelle, which is the back of the ship, and our room was midship but more forward. And I remember thinking, oh, the chocolate that Mom and I made in the Bahamas is in the fridge in our room. And I remember running, going up 4 flights of stairs, and then running all the way down, and then running back. That wouldn't have been so bad on the Magic.
No.
But yeah, like, everybody, when it first came out, a lot of people were down on the Wish, like they didn't like some of the spaces, they weren't big enough or whatever. Yeah. I loved it. I loved eating beignets in the bayou. I loved, sitting on the deck, going in the infinity pool. Mom and I did that.
Oh, we didn't do that, did we?
No, we did not. But Mom, that was another thing Mom wanted to do, was go to the infinity pool at the back of the ship at the adults only section. Yeah, and then of course enjoying the Christmas tree. Not a fan of all the gold that they had on their tree, but that's just.
She's more of a white gold person, anyways, than gold. So yeah. So
the tree wasn't what I would have.
Some people would say gold is gaudy, like, oh, it's just too gaudy.
But it was still beautiful, and they did have some gingerbread houses there, like big gingerbread houses. That smelled wonderful on the ship. So yeah, I think that's about everything.
All right.
Yeah. So with that,
Whole time it feels like you've been pouring salt on an old wound. Are you sure? Are you done? You
I'm
done?
done.
After this, I don't want to hear any more about this Disney Wish cruise you went on without me. After this, we're done. Yeah. Okay. No, I'm actually healed over it now since I've been on it later. Earlier this year we had the chance to go on it, so
And
now
we'll review
I've
that.
forgiven you. That was a very healing moment, a healing experience for me to go on it. You're still one cruise ahead of me, but I can move on now. So,
Okay.
cool.
Well,
I'm glad you had a great time with your mom.
Okay. And with that, we'll see you later. Bye.